My presentation of Cusada Elementary School. Cusada Elementary School is located in Millbrook, Alabama, which is located in the southwestern portion of Elmore County in central Alabama. They are a part of the Elmore County school system. This school mainly supports the Millbrook, Elmore, Deatsville, and Cusada area residents. Cusada Elementary serves as a feeder school to the Airport Road Intermediate School, which is also in Millbrook, Alabama. I attempted to dig up some research on this particular school to find out any historical facts or when the school was established. I didn't find anything on Google or the school's public website. However, considering the appearance of the school and the overall structure of the school and just inside the classrooms, I'm guessing that it's either fairly new to the area or that it was rebuilt within probably the past 10 to 15 years. Though I didn't find any history about Cusada Elementary itself, I did, however, find some really interesting history about the establishment of Cusada and how the town got its name. According to the Encyclopedia of Alabama.org, prior to Indian settlement, the land was the territory of the Coushatta tribe, which was near or on the town of Coassaudi. After the Creek War of 1813 to 1814, white settlers began to move into the area. The governor of the time split the land into lots to sell. This was originally the part of Watauga County, and by 1821, Cousada, spelled Coosawda at the time, had a school, a post office, and a sawmill. In 1872, a railroad came through, and according to town histories, the town's name gained its current spelling in 1899 when a railroad sign painter accidentally left out the W on the name of the station's sign. Thought this would be a really interesting social lesson for the students of Cusada. Cusada Elementary has 997 students within pre-kindergarten to second grade. This school has 2 pre-K classrooms, 18 kindergarten classrooms, 17 first grade classrooms, and 17 second grade classrooms, as well as 1 multi-needs room. They have a student-teacher ratio of 18:1, which is equal to the Alabama state level. There are 56 teachers at the school, and this population of the teachers has stayed relatively flat over the past 5 school years. These statistics come from publicschoolreview.com. They are a feeder school to Airport Road. They are the only intermediate school in the Millbrook-Cusada area. From there, the students will either go to Millbrook Middle and then Stanhope, or they could just transfer to Holtville, which is closer to the Slap-Out Deatsville area. This school is also placed in the state's top 20 percentile in diversity. Cusada Elementary has a diversity score of 57%, which is only 2% less than the state average. 1% of the student population are Asian, 6% are Hispanic, 39 are Black, 53 are white, and the other 1% are 2 or more races. Out of these students, 59% are receiving free or reduced lunch, which is more than the state average by 7%. As for transportation, most students are either a car rider or a bus rider. There are not any after-school care programs at the school. Most of the students I had in my classroom, they either went to the YMCA, but most car rode to like a grandparent's house, or if they have parents that work later hours, they went to like a daycare, things like that. As of 2017, the population of Cusada was at 1,283 residents. 66% of the residents resided in urban areas and 34% were in rural areas. Within the past 7 years, the population has decreased by 7.2%. The average household income in 2007 was $49,679. The average resident age is 41 years old, which is slightly higher than the state average, which is 39 years. The average cost of a house in Cusada is $159,521, which was more than doubled since 2000. The unemployment rate as of March this year is 3.3%. What this information tells me is that most of the students probably come from middle-class families. When I interviewed a few of my students, most of them come from single-parent homes, and a few happen to live in lower-income areas. Of course, this doesn't apply to every student, since other students do come from the Millbrook or other nearby cities. I also noticed that the top 3 crimes in Cusada were burglary, assault, and theft, which happen to coincide with the lower-income areas as well. And of course, that's not saying that Cusada is a high crime town. I just noticed this within my research. Cusada totals to be about a 7-mile stretch. so it's very small. Downtown consists of the town hall, like a few local businesses, a few churches, a park for the kids, and of course the schools. There isn't a lot going on in Coushatta, so many people tend to travel outside of town towards Millbrook or Prattville for more options. In Prattville, there are a lot of more healthcare options, such as urgent care facilities. Prattville also has just one hospital, while the second closest options are going to be in Montgomery, which is about 20 minutes from Coushatta. So if a student needed to see any type of specialist, they would definitely have to travel out of town to Montgomery or maybe even Birmingham, depending on what they needed specifically. Coushatta doesn't have any after school care or programs offered for kids. However, Millbrook has about three of them, so that would be about a 5 to 10 minute drive depending on where they lived. I have seen a few of the school buses go to the YMCA. I know that they offer daycare for members of the Y, and during the summer, they have summer camps for kids where they can play sports, practice music, and just be active with other kids their age while their parents are at work. As for entertainment, residents are still likely to travel to Prattville for more restaurant options as well as shopping for things like clothes, furniture. There are a few mom and pop stores in the Millbrook area, so that helps out Elmore County. As long as people continue to support those kind of places, that will hopefully build up Coushatta in the future. Here are some photos that I took driving around Coushatta. In the top left, there is the children's park. There's a round track that surrounds a grassy area where adults can, push a stroller, walk around, socialize with other people. In the far back, there is a playground for kids to play on, and I believe behind that was a baseball field for like Little League and things like that. The photo in the top middle is the airport landing strip. There is a small airport for small planes that is currently being used. That's where Airport Road gets its name from. And across from the airport, there are a lot of churches. One that I noticed was a Jehovah's Witness church. I haven't seen a lot of those around. More churches tend to look like the one on the top right, which is a Methodist church. You see a lot of Baptist churches like that. In the bottom middle, there is the City Hall, which you can tell is fairly new. And then to the left of that picture is the Elms of Coushatta, which is one of the older houses in Coushatta. It was currently renovated to be like an event venue. A lot of people do weddings there, corporate meetings, things like that. It's just a really interesting building with some great history. As I've mentioned, Elmore County has a lot of competition with Watauga County, specifically Prattville. Prattville has more shopping centers, bowling alleys, adult entertainment such as bars, and several restaurants to choose from, as well as things like salons, offices, healthcare options, things like that. Most of the facilities are aimed for adults and teenagers. There are very limited free activities for younger adults and children. As for entertainment activities, most of Coushatta's residents travel again to Prattville. Prattville is just always growing, unlike Coushatta. Elmore County recently built a trampoline park beside the interstate, so there's some revenue there. There's a small park close to the town hall, so unless someone's looking, to spend a good buck on bowling or going to the movies and going out to eat after, there isn't a lot of things to do in this area, especially outdoor-wise. The most common businesses in Coushatta are going to be like mom and pop restaurants, a few doctor's offices, public administration, farmers markets, repair shops, and there's a ton of convenience stores. I'm sure with the limited amount of businesses in the area as well, many of the students' parents or family members probably tend to travel for work. Most of Coushatta consists of houses, farms, apartments. There's a lot of neighborhoods that sit on the same road as the elementary school. I haven't seen any kids walking to school though. There is one apartment complex across Highway 14, which is very close to the school. The average rent for this complex runs about $800 for a one-bedroom apartment. There are many more options for apartment complexes in the Millbrook-Prattville area. The cost of rent is about the same price, being anywhere from $700 to $1,000 depending on the size and the quality in the area. There's also rumors that they're building some more low-income housing in Coushatta. There's already one complex off of Main Street with more living structures available in that area that could mean that the community will have more residents and the schools will have more students, and which in turn may cost for a need of teachers. Coushatta is a small town, which means pretty much everyone is tight knit. People are more likely to have closer relationships with their neighbors, doctors, and people they see every day at a supermarket. While residents don't have a lot of options in their town directly, they're still about a 15-minute drive to major grocery stores such as Target, Walmart, Home Depot, other stores. Another good thing about the location of this town is that there's a lot of nearby colleges for students to start thinking about in their future. Within a 30-mile radius, there's AUM, Jefferson State Community College, Huntington, ASU, and just a little bit further is Troy. These colleges would be a great opportunity for students that can't afford places like Auburn or Alabama that just want to play sports and stay close to their community. Another great thing about Coushatta is that there's always some sort of construction going on. This is great for job opportunities as well as growth in the community. There are always new houses being built, which means that the population could be expanding or projected to expand, which would help the community's growth. Some challenges that Coushatta brings is the limited revenue. With all the competitions being in such close range, it's sometimes more convenient just to hop over to Prattville and get the things that you need. Another challenge is that there isn't a lot of major healthcare providers in Coushatta. There are many primary doctors, but if someone needed a specialist, they would definitely have to travel to the Montgomery or even up to Birmingham. Another challenge is that most of the residents have low income, so it's hard to grow in a community where there are limited jobs and not a lot of income that's going back into Coushatta versus places like Prattville or Montgomery. Some places of interest that would be great to take your students is Governor William's Wyatt Bibb's gravesite, which is currently located in the Bibb Family Cemetery just outside the town. It is listed on the Alabama Register of Landmarks and Heritage. As I've mentioned, there is the Elms of Coushatta. It is a Greek Revival style house that was built in 1836. It's currently being used today as a wedding or an event venue. The Elms is right down the road from the elementary school, so that's very convenient. The town hall houses exhibits of artifacts relating to the Native American life in the area, as well as artifacts from early settlers. This would be, again, another wonderful place for a field trip with students, especially if you're learning about the history of the town. And lastly, there's the Coushatta Heritage Festival, which is held the third Saturday of each September. It features arts and crafts vendors, a car show, live music, a children's play area, and concessions. This would be an awesome place for the school to set up something to do activities with the kids, things like that. These are my sources, and this concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.